TheobaldTheBird is widely regarded as the biggest bird in Minecraft. Between the unstable SMP, being an absolute unit when it comes to PvP, and growing a YouTube channel to over 300,000 subscribers, he's built a strong reputation for himself over the past few years. However, one thing sets Theo apart from most competitive Minecraft players. He doesn't tier test. Tier testing is the official way to gauge your PvP skill in Minecraft. Basically, you fight a tester who will assign you a tier, from low tier 5 being the worst, to high tier 1 being the best in the world. There's a lot more to it than that, but that's the general idea. So today, I'm joined by my friend Jork to analyze Theo's gameplay against players who have tested, and assign him tiers based on that. By the end of the video, we'll see where he would rank globally, and if he's really as good as everyone says. Sword is clearly one of Theo's top modes. He puts up a good fight against any player, no matter what tier they are. While Floatives is only high tier 3, Theobald wins 5-2, and Sweat God is low tier 3, and Theo wins 5-1. According to the official MC Tiers gameplay rubric, this would count as a high tier 3 eval fight, which he would win. While it's hard to judge past this point, he was able to hold his own against Sharpness in 2023, so assuming neither of them fell off or got insane since then, I think it's safe to say he would get at least low tier 2 in Sword, maybe even higher. He was also able to hold his own against both Flow and Sweat and Diamond Pot. Both of these players are high tier 3, and their total score versus his was 9-9, so I think it's pretty safe to say he could definitely get high tier 3. Theo lost to them with a combined score of 1-6 in Deathpot, which is not very good, especially considering his skill. However, this is kind of understandable, since you really need to know how to play the kit to do well in it, especially against someone who is low tier 2 like Flow. While he did get destroyed, he often took fights to nearly armor break and was able to at least compete with these players, so I think he could probably squeak out a low tier 3 from this mode if he was really trying. Now Crystal is a little tricky, as Sweat isn't even tested in it and Flow is low tier 3, but he still should be able to get some indication of what Theo is. He's able to keep up with Flow and Crystal and actually beats him 3-1. Now Crystal may be the fastest scaling mode out there, with there being an insane difference between low and high tier 3. However, this would make him eligible for a high tier 3 test. Since this mode scales really fast, I'm going to put him in low tier 3 just to be safe, but he could definitely compete for high tier 3.
Alright, what's good, y'all? I'm Jork. I've been playing PvP for a few years. I've gotten tested in a lot of different modes, and I will be doing most of the shield game modes. Starting out with Axe. Axe is one of the most OG game modes, going all the way back to a certain green fella, and was the game mode that transitioned the community from spam click to modern PvP. In the Floatives 1v1, Theo loses 3-5. He initially comes out strong and has some close rounds before falling victim to Floatives melee. While the score may not reflect it, I think Theo deserves high tier 4 or maybe low tier 3 if he trained the mode. He has solid bow and melee, but lacks some game sense that hinders him a ton. SMP. Floatives is a high tier 3 in this kit, and Theo comes out swinging with a nail-biter fight that goes to armor break. Sadly, it's the only win he gets, losing the rest by dropping. Theo had a similar start in his fights with Sweat God, who was a high tier 4, but with the final score of 2-3, there's not much hope. I think Theo's issue with SMP is the aggro potential. Every round he loses is a quick drop, but he wins when it goes to armor break. If Theo learns to play more passive, he could reach tier 3, but as of now he's likely around high tier 4. UHC. Theo has played well in other UHC events, but Floatives is a retired high tier 1 and claims to be low tier 2 around the time of the fight. Theo loses 0-6, and it's honestly not that close. Also factoring in the video with Sweat God, who is high tier 2, Theo went 2-5. I think Theo has potential in UHC, having close fights against high tiered players, but he isn't consistent enough to hold a high tier. Watching his fights, he often loses to Bow and Lava, showing he has good melee, but similar to Axe, he currently lacks the game sense to be a top player. I think he is probably low tier 3, maybe high tier 3 with some training. Mace. Theo isn't exactly known for his Mace PvP, but against a peak high tier 3 in Floatives, he comes out on top with a score of 2-1. In this fight, Theo is hitting breach swaps, stun slams, and doing more pearl tech than you'd expect. Apparently being a bird makes you good with Elytra, because he had a knack of keeping height over flow during these fights. He also posted a video of him playing Mace, in which he demonstrates a good understanding of tech and game sense, further increasing his potential. Honestly, this is an impressive performance, and I think Theo deserves a solid high tier 3, with potential for low tier 2 if he keeps training. While it doesn't count towards his status on the MC tiers leaderboard, Cart is still something Theo is very much known for, especially by unstable fans. Once again, we return to the Floatives video where Theo loses in a photo finish 2-3 loss. Flo is high tier 3, and Theo wasn't active in Cart when this video was recorded. He also played against Sweat God, who doesn't really play Cart, but Theo still hits consistent instacarts while saying he's washed. I don't know a lot about Cart outside of Theo and Leowook, as it's not a game mode I practice myself. However, if I had to place Theo in a tier for Cart, he would likely be high tier 3 or low tier 2. He stopped playing for a bit, but his clips in Unstable are undeniable proof that he has potential. Seeing as he was out of practice for his other fights and still put up a great performance, and with his recent training arc bringing him back to the mode, low tier 2 is not out of the question.
After adding up the points for all of the tiers that we gave him, TheobaldTheBird would rank exactly in the top 100 players with 76 points. However, this number would likely fluctuate a lot, because he can get higher or lower in any of the tiers we assigned. Well, that's all we have for this video. Do you agree with the tiers that we assigned? Be sure to comment down below if you do, or what tiers you would give him if you don't. With that, thank you for watching, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.